two most powerful warriors are patience and time, as said by Leo Tolstoy, and you'll definitely need both and firepower to get through war games. This is the last game of this week, and yeah, there's a number of campaigns based off of, I believe, to be historical events. So like around 1991, a heck of a long time ago. Many I've never heard of because they're not really based off of Canadian or American history. Maybe it was made up, but it seemed to be realistic, like a plausible scenarios. So the background of the game includes or involves a Cold War struggle between a Western coalition and a communist bloc. So deep into the Cold War era. The graphics are impressive, especially when you consider this game came out like 7 or 8 years ago, and it looks almost as good as some of the RTS games I've seen in the last few years, last 2 to 4 years in particular. That versus like this is probably one of the best looking military games I've ever seen, and it competes mostly with the fantastical fantasy genre as well, or the sci-fi one genre. So yeah, that's definitely, I find, like the highlight here. Definitely for the average Joe, the graphics are quite impressive, and the sheer scalability of the camera zoom is impressive, especially if you're running this in 4K. Your goal is to earn points to buy military vehicles and troops, and you deploy them and go to war. And there are many vehicles and infantry to choose from. There's over 450, I even saw like 1,500 units, various types of tanks, planes, helicopters, warships, and amphibious vehicles. The units come from apparently 1951 through to 1995, so a very long period of time to cover the entire Cold War. And just to name drop a few of the countries involved, there's many more: USA, UK, Russia, France, Sweden, China. And it just goes to show like how detailed the developers really tried to make this game, basing off of using real vehicles, just to make it the most realistic RTS you can think of. Apparently there's also an extensive multiplayer mode. You can have up to 20 people playing, which as far as I know is unheard of. I don't know of many games that offer more than like 2 to 4 maybe. I could be wrong. Players playing at once in one game. But unlike a lot of the other RTS games I've tried in the past, I feel like Wargame expects you to be competent and capable of changing strategies on the fly. And I would even argue this is like the hardest semi-realistic RTS game I've ever played in my life. Not being an RTS pro, just like more of a casual RTSer out of all the games I've played. Yeah, the Wargame Red Dragon definitely has like a steep learning curve involved, as I understand a little of how like I maneuver my vehicles, but there's not really a tutorial. And like this game is so complex that apparently after reading up about and after playing the game, fans have made tutorials for a game, and I've not really seen that so much for like there's sort of like strategies for games, but like whole tutorials on like how to play this game and how to be good at this game. But the catch is like pretty much like you have to be willing to invest a lot of time in this game to get good. Unlike a lot of games, you can't just jump in like I try to. So the AI apparently has a tendency to rush the front lines. That's its main strategy. I also heard that it'll try and like choke you out by surrounding you with enemies, but I didn't see that so much from the little I played. They were pretty good at fending off my enemy tanks and airplanes. But yeah, unless you're decent at this game, and that decent I would define as having invested 5 to 20 hours at least into this game, you're gonna have a swift defeat, and I really did. They had no problems defeating me when I tried to attack the other regions of, I think it was Asia. So as I said, the game demands an investment of like a significant amount of time to be able to play it competently. Possibly 2 to 10 hours, maybe more. Watching, sort of like reading the in-game manuals and watching these replays and tutorials that people have made, just so that other people can play the game and get better and expand the number of people playing this game. So ultimately, while there are a lot of vehicles and complexity of the game, the steep learning curve is going to deter a lot of people from playing this game. The game demands, as I said, days spent to learn, just to be able to play it competently, and that's what I saw a lot. Like after seeing, like, is this just like a me thing because I don't play RTSs? And a lot of people say, yeah, you have to invest a huge chunk of time just to sort of get by at this game. So yeah, if you have the patience and time, and the game is only $8.29 right now in the Steam Autumn sale. Usually it's $41, so it's 80% off. So if you're looking to try a game that's really going to push you and challenge you, especially an RTS game that's going to do that, and you love apparently Command and Conquer, this might be a game that you'll love to give it a shot and learn how to play it competently. There's DLC right now that's only $15, so super cheap to get the whole game and all the expansion, all the extra campaigns. Yeah, so this game won't hold your hand whatsoever. Unlike like a lot of RTSs that come out right now or in the last few years, this game expects you to be competent and get good, and it won't like give you any tips or anything. You have to learn it the hard way through the House of Hard Knocks. So yeah, this will keep you busy for a long time. There's a lot to see and do. As I said, over 1,000 to almost 2,000 vehicles to learn and unlock. So I would give it a serious 8.5 out of 10. If you're a hardcore RTS fan, it might be too intimidating for the average Joe like myself who doesn't play a lot of RTSs. And if you love Wargames, you'll probably love this because you'll see all these like different vehicles that maybe you recognize from reading in the past. So keep on gaming and keep on preventing World War III. Ciao.